Hey folks, welcome back to the shop here at Markelly Farm. We're going to get back on the Cub today while we have the weather. We're going to try to do some more painting and a few other items that we can possibly get done. I had all of our bolts that we took off the platform and the fenders and everything in these plastic bags all labeled. I was worried about getting them all mixed up, but they're all different size bolts, so we don't have to worry about that. And they're kind of rusty and gnarly, as you might imagine. I picked up some of this rust dissolver here and a bucket at the hardware store. We're going to try to put all these nuts and bolts in a rust dissolver to try to clean them up, because if you can imagine individually wire wheeling these little bolts would get pretty dangerous and very tedious, like with a pair of pliers. So I don't really want to do that. So I'm hoping this stuff's going to work. I've seen some other stuff on a few videos called Evapo Rust, but none of our stores had it. It's probably only a mail order thing. So we're hoping this works. It says only 30 minutes, so we will see. Got our stuff in our bucket, so I guess we can start dropping our pieces in. Now the instructions do say to do this when it's above 70 degrees, and it's currently only 45 degrees in the shop. So once we get all this stuff in here, we'll probably run this bucket in the house. It doesn't smell like it's got volatile chemicals in it that are gassing off at all. Or maybe it's because it's so cold in here. But we'll figure it out. Well, I got a couple little droplets of that stuff on my hand when I was throwing the stuff in the bucket. And it's actually phosphoric acid is the main ingredient in that. And you don't want to get that on your skin. So I went in and used some baking soda, neutralized it, and everything's fine. If you ever get any acid on your hands, baking soda will neutralize it. Also, not supposed to keep it indoors in a confined area because it does give off some little bit of fumes. So I put it on the back porch since it's only going to take 30 minutes. And then I'll just leave the door open, let it air out for a while once we're done. So let's see what else we can do out here. So, being that it's about 45 degrees, we only got 5 more degrees to go till we're at 50 degrees where we can paint. I want to start getting all these parts outside so we're ready to rock once we hit 50 degrees. Got all these things to get outside, battery box and everything over there. So we'll set up our tables and get that done. When you're handling your primered parts, you want to use gloves because even the oil from your hand can affect your paint. So glove up. Got all of our parts ready to go. Ruby, you going to help paint today? Next thing we can do is we can dispose of our dirty rags from the last go around we did. These were all rags that were soaked in mineral spirits, and you never want to throw those, wad them up and throw them in a garbage, because as that gas is off, it'll create heat and those can self-combust. So always, if you're going to throw them away, put them in a metal can with a cover on it so it can't get any air. Or I just leave them laying flat here on the concrete until they dry, which means all of the mineral spirits have gassed off, and then you can throw them in the garbage. All of my old t-shirts turn into shop rags, and I got lots of t-shirts. Well, we'll still have to wait till our temperature to come up. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to get some wood for the shop, because I'm assuming we're going to need to burn the wood stove again today, because our window of 50 degrees is only about 4 hours. So we're going to have to do that. So I'm going to go take the chainsaw, get a couple nice good pieces of wood out of a log and put them in the shop so I do have them. The guineas are here grazing in the backyard. They finally shut up for a minute. Let me give you a piece of advice. If you're thinking about getting guineas for your farm, resist the temptation. Anytime you're outside, this is what you hear the whole time. Your peace and quiet will be gone. Now, we initially got them they said they help with the ticks around the property because they eat the ticks, but the annoyance just is not worth the benefit. Well, that ought to be plenty of wood to keep the stove going this afternoon and this evening. I cannot say enough good things about this Stihl electric chainsaw. Really love it. I mean, you don't have any problems when mixing gas and trying to start your chainsaw. This thing starts every time, and a battery lasts a good long time. That wood's been down for a while. It's nice and hard, and you can see this thing mowed right through it. The only time I went slow is when I had to, because the log was teetering, so I couldn't put enough pressure on it, but just mows right through that stuff. I always try to cut on top of other wood so I'm not cutting down in the dirt, ruining my blade, even though I do have an extra one. They do make one size bigger than this, or at least they did when we bought this, but one of the guys I watch on YouTube said he liked the smaller one better. It was lighter weight and did just about the same job. So there's the part number if you're thinking about using one of these. Highly recommend. And then because we bought the weed whacker with this, they use the same battery. So in essence, I have two batteries for whatever function I'm using, whether I'm using the chainsaw or I'm using the weed whacker. Always got a spare. Before we shove this all the way into the charger, you can see we still have 4 bars of power. So just with that little bit of wood we cut, didn't use much juice at all. And as promised, I'm still going to do a product review on that saw. I want to see exactly how long that thing will cut on a full battery. But that's to come. I do have to refill my wood. I have this wood carrier here that I can pick up with the tractor, and I can take it out right out to where I cut wood and load it up and then bring it back in here with the tractor. So I got to fill this thing back up before we get too far into winter. Well, my weather station out in the yard says it's 48 degrees, but the thermometer in the shop says it's 52. So I think we're close enough. However, they're delivering our new gas range here. They said they were going to be here in 45 minutes, and that was about 45 minutes ago. So hopefully they're on time, and I can get them going in the house and come back out and start painting, because our window is only about 4 hours, like I probably said before. So I need to get this paint on so we can flip this stuff around and get the second coat on the top side and get that done today. We do have 60 degrees predicted for tomorrow, so if I only get one side painted today, it's not going to hurt. So let's see how this goes. Well, literally 2 minutes later they showed up, so I got them going so we can get the painting out here. Well, it looks like the neighbor's cows are out again. You have to go check that out. His hot wire probably went down again. Well, now we got a mess. They all got through the fence, and we can't get them back through. They keep running around us. So the neighbor had just fixed the fence down there in the bottom, and he was getting ready to leave, and the cows were up in the lane up here on top. And I guess they saw the green grass over on my side of the fence, and they just went diving over the barbed wire to it. And half of the herd was out here back behind the house, and he was trying to get him back in, so I had to help him sit down here on this to keep him from coming down the yard and running around. They had some crazy ones, kept running around him, but we finally got him through. But he's got a lot more fence to fix. But it's just barely over 50 degrees. I don't think we're going to get the other side of this stuff painted, so I'm going to let it sit here. I'm going to run down to the neighbor's. He's given us a trailer. I was down there yesterday, unloaded all the barbed wire out of it, but I got to dig the tongue of it out of the ground and then see if we can move it out of its hole. So let's head on down there. Well, here's the trailer, and then the tongue is all buried here. I brought a shovel. I can dig that out. Unloaded all that barbed wire out of it yesterday by hand with no gloves. That was fun. Spaghetti mess with barbed wire. It all sticks together. So let's get this tongue dug out of here. Well, we got the tongue out, so now we're going to hook up the four-wheeler. This thing's got a 1,300 pound pulling capacity and it's four-wheel drive, so I'm hoping it'll pull it out of that hole. All the tires have air in it, but we'll see. Let's get her hooked up. Okay, we got her out here in the yard, so just got to come back with some air. Upon further inspection, this thing is a dump trailer. There's no hoist underneath it, so I don't know how they dumped it, but it's just sitting on the front, and it's got a pivot point in the back. Got a little junk on the inside. But what we're going to use this for is we're going to use it in the parades behind the Cub. I'm going to cut a walk-through here in the back and put some steps where people can get up inside. And then where this flares out, I'm going to put some angle brackets on the inside with some wood, so make like a bench all the way across both sides where people can sit on the inside of this. It's got a dump box or a dump door here on the back too. You got to raise both of those to get it to come up. But pretty cool old wagon. And the good thing is it's got regular rims on it. It doesn't have them funky clamp-on rims. It's regular 5 lug. Looks like 5 on 5.5, which is our little trailer is also. Now, a couple things we're going to have to do. This old wagon gear is what they call it that this thing sits on. It pivots right here in the middle. So the tires can pivot independently. And we're not going to want it to do that, so we'll probably level it out, straighten it out, and we'll weld that solid to where it can no longer pivot. Because when it pivots, it tweaks this box up here. And then it's already got a steering axle in the front, like any old wagon. So it's pretty cool. It steers its way around the corners. So let's go home, see what we're going to do. We'll get back on the quad. Well, we are back. The weather station says it's 46. Need to go inside and see what the thermometer says inside, but like I said, we're not going to get the second coat on these, so let's go see what that thermometer says in here. Thermometer says 49, so yeah, let's get this stuff in and get this fire started. Oh, we got the fire going in the shop. We're going to go down and see if we can get those tires to hold some air, but we'll see you all in the morning. Alrighty folks, good morning. We've got the trailer home actually yesterday. The tires actually held air, which was amazing. I'm guessing there's tubes inside of them because the way those tires are cracked, there's no way they're going to hold air on their own. So we're happy to get this home. We're not going to start on this project right away, but it's here for when we're ready to do it. Well, we're going to take a look and see how our rust dissolver worked. We left it overnight because it didn't seem to be doing much last night, and it warmed up quite a bit today. So let's see. Well, I'd say it worked fairly well. With the exception of the paint, it got all the rust off. So whatever paint's still on there, we can just wire wheel that off. But the rust is gone, so that's a win. So a beautiful day. You can hear the guineas again. So we've got the first coat. Came out really nice yesterday of the red, International Red. We're going to get those things flipped over and painted today. It's already over 50 degrees today and it's only noon. So it's going to be a great day for painting. Our parts from yesterday came out smooth as a baby's bottom. So we just got to flip all these babies over, get our last coat of paint, and then our next project won't be on this video, but we'll be putting the whole back end of this tractor back together. Can't wait. Well, we're ready to rock out here. Just got to mix up our paint, put our paint gun back together, and get to shooting. We are done, folks. Got some pretty parts. These are going to dry and cure nice today with this great weather. So we got some other stuff to do. But that's not for this video. I think we're going to wrap this up. We've had a good time here getting the rest of the stuff ready for the Cub. We cannot wait for this stuff to cure. We get in there and put the back of that tractor back together. It's going to be fun. It's going to be pretty. Love it. So, hope you enjoyed our Cub content here. Come back and see us here at Markelly Farm. Stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come back and see us. The content's always free here.